Hey everyone, it's Mari and welcome to another 12 by 12 scrapbooking process video using mixed media. And I'm going to start out by using this stencil, which is a memory box stencil that is titled Texture Splatter, and I purchased that from Simon Says Stamps online. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of that color down on a cream colored texture cardstock using the Tim Holtz tool and some Tim Holtz Distress inks. And the three colors of ink that I'm using are going to be Peacock Feather, which is the one that I'm using right now, and Evergreen Bow and Worn Lipstick. So I'm just going to rotate those colors on this background and just rubbing that in. So this is sped up 3 times, so you can't really appreciate how I'm putting that on there, but all I'm doing is just kind of rubbing that on in a circular motion. And I'm just changing up the pad to put the Evergreen Bow on there now. And I actually did this previously, which is fairly common for me. I do the process and then I go back and I do it again. I repeat it for the sake of the video. And so that this is a repeat of a process that I've already done that I'll show you later in the video what I did with it. But it doesn't turn out exactly the same the second time, but I have to say that probably nothing I've ever done as a craft has ever I've ever been able to duplicate exactly the same. But I'll talk about that a little bit more as we go through. So now I'm just putting a little bit of that Worn Lipstick on there, and I didn't put any gesso down on this paper because I wanted the ink to absorb into the paper. And what I'm going to do, what you'll see me do next, is I put some gelatos on here in a couple of different colors. This one's just kind of like a aqua teal color. It's got a bit of a shine to it. And then this one is a pink one. And those are both double scoop gelatos that I bought on Simon Says Stamp. Now, you don't want to overwork that when you haven't put any gesso down. So I'm just rubbing it gently with a baby wipe. And yeah, I didn't want to create any damage to the paper, so I just kind of really rubbed it gently. And now I'm just drying it ever so little, such a little amount, because it's not very wet. So now I'm just going to put some clear gesso down there, and I'm going to put that on there with the palette knife, and it's a pretty thin layer, and just going to get that dried up after. So when I go to put the Heidi Swapp Color Shine on here, which is my favorite mist, and I use it as much as I possibly can, and I see that Heidi Swapp has some new Color Shine colors out, so I'd like to add those to my stash ASAP. I haven't done that yet. Anyways, I'm going to add some Color Shine to this, and this is where this is a lot different the second time than the first time, because I think I was in a bit of a rush when I was doing this on camera, and I just kind of went a little bit crazy and got too much on there. So I get way too much of the green, and it's a little bit overpowering. But anyways, I just wanted to show you what I did and the process that I used to get the color on there. I wanted this to run a little bit, and what I probably should have done is I probably should have just taken that first amount that I put on there and then sprayed some water over top of it just to get it to run, but instead I tried to add more color, which wasn't a good idea. And then another thing that you want to do, which I know that I did the first time, and this time I just was, like I said, I was in a rush, is I didn't dry the different colors before I added the next one. So if you want to try this technique, I just would recommend that. Just dry them in between, because really what ends up happening is the colors blend, and you don't want that. You want them to be layered rather than blended. That's the way I wanted it to look anyways. And you'll see the one that I did the first time off camera looks a little bit different, and just less heavy with the colors, especially that green. It's a little too overpowering. And I think that is the colors of the Color Shine that I use. The green is mint, and the pink is pink, and then I use the gold on top. So when it's done, it actually is really, really pretty. And you'll see the one that I did, that I used for my layout, is really striking, and I really loved how it came out. But like I said, I just repeated the process so that you could see what I did to get the effect that I got for the layout that I ended up with, that I ended up finishing. So This is going to take a little bit of time to dry, so I apologize for that. And I eventually just set it aside because I decided that I'm not going to use this piece in this layout at all. I was considering cutting it up into strips and using it at the bottom in really tiny little thin strips, but I wasn't really happy with how dark it turned out, so I decided that I would just set it aside and use it a different time for a different layout. And probably what I would do is maybe add something over top of it, like some texture paste or something like that with a stencil, or perhaps even just cut it up into some shapes like I do for this layout. So I'm just using a teal Stampin' Up! Colored background there that I gutted, and so you can see what I did was I took these I took those dies, those thinlits. I think they're now I'm going to forget that because I'm on camera or I'm narrating here, but it'll come to me what brand they are. But anyways, what I did was I just used those in my Big Shot with the paper that I had used the different media on. So the Tim Holtz Distress Ink and the Heidi Swapp Color Shine. I just took that paper and I just cut it out using those scallop circles in the different sizes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look on my iPad on Pinterest for some quotes that I'm going to use around the border, around the edge of the cream colored paper. So I did the media on cream colored texturized cardstock, and now I'm going to use cream colored texturized cardstock as my background for the entire layout, which I of course adhered to that teal color, which just adds, it's kind of nice because it brings that green color out that's in the scallop circles. So I'm just looking on Pinterest now for some quotes, and what I'm looking for is some quotes from Walt Whitman, who happens to be one of my favorite poets, and I end up using the following quotes on there, and you'll just see me use my Project Life pen to go ahead and put those quotes on there. So I don't remember which one I started with. Maybe let's see, I'm just looking at the layout here to see what I started with. You are so much sunshine in every square inch. I love that one. And then I just put a little squiggly mark. And the next one is, these are the days that must happen to you. So the picture is of my 50th birthday. So at least we all hope that we can have a 50th birthday, right? And then a little squiggly mark, and then it says, to me, every hour of the day and night is an unspeakable miracle. And then the last one says, no, it's not the last one, it's the second last one. Happiness not in another place, but this place, not for another hour, but this hour. And I'm going to do some journaling off camera on this layout about the picture, which is a picture of me and my kids on my 50th birthday. And it says, I swear to you, there are divine things more beautiful than words. And isn't that the truth? So I just love that. I love those Walt Whitman quotes, and I found those on Pinterest. So what can't you find on Pinterest these days, right? Anyways, Pinterest is kind of one of my go-tos for ideas and inspiration. So I don't know about you guys, but I follow a lot of well, whoever I can find that I follow on social media on Pinterest, because I love to look at the layouts there and all of the things that people pin in their profiles. Just, it's really interesting, and it's a way to get good ideas, I think, too. So anyways, here I go with more first world scrapbooking problems, as in almost all of my videos, more adhesive issues. I think that tape runner runs out in just about every single video. Anyways, I guess when else is it going to run out, right? So now I'm just going to adhere that to that green paper, and I'm going to start putting those little scallop pieces on there. And you know what, just like so many of you say in your videos, it's really, really hard to appreciate how pretty that color shine is on a video. Like, you just can't get the sense of how lovely it is. But honestly, those scallop circles just totally glitter and shine. They're so pretty. I thank you, Heidi Swapp, for your color shine. Honestly, I just want to give her a big hug every time I use that stuff, because it's just my favorite. It's my absolute favorite thing ever to use for any kind of a product. That's it. That would be my number one first thing ever. So I'm just going to arrange those scallops into kind of a circular shape, and I'm going to struggle to get them stuck down there where I want them. I'm going to, yeah, have to move them and so on. But anyways, I get it on there. And I just love the color combination of the green and the pink and the gold. I think it just looks really pretty, and it's just kind of soft and nice. I like it a lot. And that shine is just the it's just a bomb. Does anybody say that? I don't know. Anyways, I just did. So now I'm going to put that picture on there of myself and my kids for my birthday. And I just matted that on some cream color cardstock and then some Craft Market paper from the Craft Market 6x6 pad, which is in a teal color, and it has a diagonal black stripe on it. And then the very last layer is going to be some more cream color cardstock. And then I'm just going to take a bunch of the embellishments from the Craft Market set, which I have pretty much most of, I don't know. And I'm just going to put that down. That first one says, I love you forever, and it was part of a cut apart sheet. And the next one says smiles for days, and the same thing, it came from that same cut apart sheet. I should have showed you that on camera, but I don't know, I get so focused in on what my plan is sometimes that I forget about things that I could be doing. The piece above the I love you forever gold piece says September, which is when this happened. And then I add another little tag piece and an arrow excuse me, and another little piece after that says nothing but love, which came on a sticker sheet in the Craft Market set. That is all words, and they're gold and cream, and they're just really, really pretty. I love them. I love that whole set, the Craft Market set from Crepe Paper. It's just, honestly, I love it. I love it. Anyways, now I'm going to put down some sequins, and those are just for my stash. And I'm going to struggle a little bit with that. Oh, you know what that glue's called? Crystal Effects. That's it. Which, I don't know, adhesive, never my friend ever. So I end up getting it in places it shouldn't be and so on. But anyhow, I get those sequins stuck down eventually. Then I'm going to take some crepe paper chipboard pieces that are squares, and I put them on an angle, and they've got the gold foil on them. So they're really, really pretty. And that comes from these pieces that I'm just putting on now come from the crepe paper chipboard sheet. And once again, it's really, really nice. And if you haven't seen that set yet, I'm sure you have. I'm sure you've seen the crepe paper Craft Market set. But it's just it's one of my favorite new sets out there. That one and the Simple Stories I Am, which was the last layout that I did for a YouTube video. So I'm just about done here, and I'm just gonna stick a few more things down maybe, and I'm gonna be just about done. So I hope you enjoyed watching this process, and I hope that that you were able to pick up a technique from that mixed media that I did there that you might find interesting to do, or the way that I use the die cuts to cut the paper out in shapes and so on. It's just a little bit different, something interesting, and it was a lot of fun actually. This layout was super fun to do. So yeah, that's gonna be it. So wait for some still photos, and thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day. Bye.